welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging and Friends. We are back to playing Alien tonight, and we are continuing our Cinders of Heaven campaign, our colonist chapter. We have begun prospecting, but that's not what I want to talk about. So Melissa and I have had a recent obsession, and if you've watched any of the recent streams, you know we've talked about this a little bit. It's called the Traitors. Melissa and I have been watching a lot of this reality TV show stuff, and I think it fits really well for Alien, because Alien, we have like secret stuff and everything. So I've decided to change the entire campaign. So we're no longer colonists. Now we're just going to do like a reality TV show within the Alien universe, and it's going to be regular people and then secret sins, and then that's how it's going to work. I think that makes sense, right?
That's definitely an option. And I mean, sorry, no, I'm just imagining like the confessional interviews with like working Joes.
See, here's the thing. Here's the premise of the show. For those of you who don't know, Steven's right now in the chat saying he doesn't know, and that's sad. Anyhow, the premise of the show, it's sweeping the world by storm. It is a reality television show, as I mentioned, where a group of people, let's say 20, go to a location, let's say a hotel, Scotch Castle, etc., and they basically just play a big game of like werewolf or mafia. That's essentially what it is, where you have like 20 people, about like 16 or so are normal folks, like villagers, whatever, and then like 3 or 4 are like werewolves, and then every night werewolves kill people, and every evening the villagers try to banish out some werewolves, and that's basically it. And at the very end, someone gets some cash, and that's essentially what it is. So yeah, and so that's what we're gonna do. So we're reframing the whole thing. We're starting over. Your previous characters are now dead, and we're gonna make characters tonight for the new.
I mean, I was okay because Michelle has been trying to like be all like kiss ass and whatever, and she's suspicious of anyone else that also tries to do the same thing. So I can just slide this character right into that concept.
It's very interesting that you bring that up. Why don't you go ahead and introduce your character, and then I have a question for you after you're done. Is who amongst your crew? And I've been working on this for the stream. Who amongst the crew do you think would make the best traitor to the group, and why? So go ahead there, Michelle. Go ahead and describe yourself.
Yeah. So Michelle is a medic. So she didn't sound
very, very sure of herself, right? Y'all hear that, right? That little is a medic. Turn over the end. Don't trust her.
Where'd you get your medical license?
You should murder her tonight.
She is more into prevention and fitness and all of those kinds of things, and she does the surgeries and postmortems and whatnot when she has to, but it's not really her favorite part of medicine.
She keeps saying she's a medical doctor, but the first time she had to actually demonstrate those medical skills, she freaked out twice in a row. Things are starting to click now for me, guys. I think we should vote her out tonight.
I mean, it was a dead body, so it is within the self-proclaimed, not the skills that she brings that are going to help her in this challenge. Not so much. Okay, those are not the skills.
Who in here then do you think would make the best traitor? The person who would just have no trouble stabbing the rest of you in the back, getting you all killed, not really caring about you whatsoever. Who do you think it would be, and why?
So, this is interesting because on one hand, Michelle really wants to like suck up to all of the like higher up people, but she also thinks that higher up people just have like a bunch of poo-poo coming out of their mouth all the time. So Mr. Girl.
Okay. All right. Adam, we're going to go to you next. First of all, tell us a little bit about Jack, and then I have a question for you when you're done. So just go ahead and tell us a little bit about Jack.
Well, Jack is, an administrative role. He is here to make sure that the jobs get done, and to make sure that if there's any confusion on, a job site or something like that, that he can lend, proper aid and management experience to handle the big picture items. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, question for you now. Hypothetically, of course, who do you think in the crew would be the easiest person to like lure into like this circle of trust, and like the easiest person to kind of manipulate into following like your commands, and deceit and deception, all that kind of stuff? Who do you think it would be?
Well, the easiest person for me to manipulate would probably be Michelle.
Okay. Fair enough.
Eager
Okay.
to please, eager to please. Yep.
Let's go back to Michelle. Michelle, go ahead and introduce yourself again, as this is how this goes. No, fair enough. Let's kick over to Scooter. Scooter, tell us a little about yourself. Yeah, go ahead, tell us.
I'm Scooter, brother Skeeter. I am the mechanic of the group, heavy machinery, stuff like that, and I catch animals, not well, but do. Yeah, that's me.
All right, excellent. Okay, question for you. This is probably too easy. So let me give you a different one.
Yeah.
Let me different. Okay.
Oh.
Hypothetically speaking, the other one's too easy. You'd probably just say your brother. Okay, so here it is. Let's say hypothetically, you could ban a person from the crew, like a person who you think has been most detrimental, and you just need to get him out of the crew. You know, who do you think, if that was like, if you know, who do you think would be the first person to get kind of banned and kicked out in that manner? Who do you think?
Oh, well, I mean, it's two people.
Okay.
That I can't, I'm trying to decide between. One, Krish. I like Krish, but Krish is also, law around here. And it makes Skeeter awfully uncomfortable, which is amusing and entertaining to make fun of him. But he's still my brother. So, if I got rid of Krish, that means, that son of a bitch I call brother owes me a favor.
Okay.
But then there's also Mr. Geralt. I gotta tell you, you can't do good work when the boss is watching you.
That's
because
good
he's like, you can't do that. It's against safety regulations. Like, that's not. And then he gives you instructions, and you carry out the instructions, and then everyone's mad that you did what he told you to. He said, "Get rid of the evidence." I got rid of it good.
He was setting you up. It's clearly what it is. He was setting you up. Okay. Well, we're going to go to Krish because we already talked to Girl. So we're going to go down to Krish because you want to get rid of Kish. Krish, so Scooter wants to kick you out of the crew. So go ahead and tell us a little about yourself first.
I am playing Krisha Khan, the colonial marshal, who's frankly the law in the loosest sense of the word. I'm pretty convinced that she got her current job because the colony was like, well, listen, she's gonna get into bar fights anyway. She may as well be on this side of the bar fight. And so I'm like 90% sure that's why she has her job.
That makes a lot of sense, I think. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, question for you then. So let's say, I already talked about Scooter and the bench. Let's say these traitors, hypothetical traitors, these people that are within your crew and they have like these little secret missions and stuff like that, and they're maybe not working towards the same goal as everybody else. Let's say they have the opportunity to secretly now, without really getting caught, murder somebody else in the crew. Murder them. Just who do you think would be the first person to get murdered in the crew? Who do you think that might be?
First person to get murdered. I gotta say, I think it might be Scooter.
Wow.
Not because like he's easy to slit the throat of when he's sleeping, though he probably is. But like more that you could really easily just be like, hey, Scooter, there's a couple of space turtles over there that could use some Barry White. You should go check them out. And he would go.
Yeah.
Can't even argue against that. I would.
Wow. Did you notice they both just basically eliminated / killed each other? Look at that. I'm just saying. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to turn our attention over to Skeeter because Skeeter, no one has really thrown your name under the bus yet. So that's very interesting. I'm
a friendly guy.
Flying under the radar. So tell us a little bit about Skeeter. Tell us a little bit.
Man, I'm Skeeter, man. Everybody likes me. Now, allegedly, there was a time I did some things that were on the that other side of the legality line that Krish was talking about. But through the power and the governance of corporate financing, I'm now a procurement specialist, and I'm just doing my best to help everybody, man. And I will let you know, if you come to kill me, you never take me alive, you son of a bitch.
Oh, yeah. No, totally. That's definitely true. Okay, anyhow, your question. I was already listening to your answer. Your question. Let's say you had to like form an alliance, because you know that there's like traitors among you. They're trying to kill you, et cetera, and you have to like form an alliance. Who do you think would be the most trustworthy person to actually to form that alliance with? Who would that be?
I mean, I'm always going to pick my brother twofold. Number one, we hate each other too much to betray each other because you got to keep the other one around to get him. But also, I remember there used to be a shadow monster that hunted me as a kid. And I used to say we ought to bunk up together so the shadow monster can eat you first and I'll shoot it while it's eating you.
I did it too.
He did.
I
He
even tried to help.
screamed. And he screamed while I shot with my pop gun.
That's adorable. That's absolutely
I
adorable.
still don't know why you made me put ketchup between my toes. That was a weird part.
It was. It was worth it though. And Mom yelled at you for ruining the sheets.
It did.
And I told you to do it. And then I cried. I said, he ruined my bed. Oh, you dumb son of a bitch.
I wish I was a little smarter when that happened, because I would have like, I'm sorry, I farted. I don't know what happened, and watched the panic just set in on Mom's face.
Well, all right. I think
now they trust us $1 million equipment.
It's so stupid.
I think we've all learned something here. So that's good. That's good. Like, I think we all just put these in the back because as of today, I have shared some additional, hidden agendas and stuff. So, you might have some of those. And so you're going to start killing each other. Okay, let's get to the summary then. And then we'll continue. So last time, Scooter, he was down underneath the colony in these icy caverns beneath the Botany Bay area. And he found a body, brought it up to the surface. The body was identified as a woman named Farah Novik, who turned out to be one of the advanced engineers that was sent ahead of the colony mission to monitor the working Joes during colony preparation. Michelle, you did a very cursory initial medical analysis. You didn't see any clear wounds or how she particularly died necessarily, but you did notice that her internal organs were completely liquefied and also frozen. So there you go. Before you could really do a whole lot of additional investigation, however, you got summoned by various powers that be. Arthur York, who's the head of Seeksin, Yuna Kimura, who is like the colony, the head of the colony marshals, and Dr. Arya Rossi, who is like the head of the prospecting organization here. And some of you were given a dressing down, and others were just reassigned to other tasks and that were more appropriate to your skill sets. And they just kind of like, stop investigating. We don't want you to do this. So basically what happened was Jack and Scooter and Skeeter, you were supposed to begin prospecting. Some of you had a very straightforward reason for doing so, and some of you less so. Michelle and Chris, you got assigned for medical and security support. And then you also got some additional personnel in doctors Sari Valdez and Alina Morgan, along with their 2 working Joes. And all of you jumped into this big old rover, and you started basically heading west. And so you were following these various rivers, and you're trying to get out towards the Western Ocean. And along the way, you're supposed to document flora and fauna and all sorts of things like that. And whatever discoveries you can find along the way would be great. I think it was about your second day of travel, or maybe late in the first day, you all saw some like gray rodents that were like burrowing to the slopes of this one icy patch, this ridge. And then you also saw this like big old carnivore that was in the waters that was like kind of waiting for them to fall down. And other things you saw as you were driving, Jack, you started seeing and hearing these like wolf-like creatures almost that were like running around along the side near the rover, but no one else was ever able to see them. And then finally, thanks to those creatures, you spotted a human body hanging from a rock formation off the road about 100 or so yards away as you all were traveling. So we're going to pick up basically right in that moment with you all. Let's see. Let's do one. With you all in the vehicle. Jack, you've seen the body. I think, if I recall correctly, you pointed it out, and 1 or 2 other people might have seen it as well. So I'm perfectly fine to just say everyone sees it. About 100 yards away, you can see this body is hanging from like a series of these rocky fingers that are sticking up from the ground. It almost looks like a rudimentary sort of Stonehenge. And you can see from a very high horizontal growth, you can see there's a body that's just kind of swaying in this frozen breeze. What do you guys want to do?
I think at this point, it would be good if Krishna wanted to take over.
Already started walking towards the body. I think I hear Jack say something. Hey.
Krishna, do you need any assistance?
I keep walking.
Well, I think she's fine. I'll remain here.
I'll grab my bag and go investigate.
Okay, Krisha and Michelle, you hop out of the vehicle and you start trudging along the ice in the direction of the body hanging from the rocky finger. What about Scooter or Skeeter? What are you guys up to?
Hey, Scooter, how many animals you know that hang up bodies?
Not a one. Well, no, there's them one birds that would put bodies on like thorns and nails and stuff, but
Okay.
they just impale that stuff. They ain't like
Mm-hmm.
tying it up.
I'm
So,
keeping my eyes peeled. I don't like this.
I gotta tell you, man, like so far, this is a dangerous planet. There's the shitter murder, and then there was the lake
Murder turtles?
riverside myrtle, and then there was and now this, like,
So you would ascertain that this is an act of murder.
how else would someone get strung up by their neck from a tree in the middle of a goddamn planet? Ice. Yeah,
If the
That's
glove
it.
fits, you killed him with shit.
that's it.
Suicide? Perhaps?
You see a step ladder or something underneath them.
Well, not from here.
I
mean,
mean,
maybe. But again, there shouldn't have been nobody out here
that's true.
to begin with. So even if that were the case, we got ourselves a double mystery.
We do.
A buy one, get one.
Oh yeah, like
Mhm.
BOGO.
We're the BOGO detectives here.
That's it. I'm gonna take a bet that it's also another one of them early engineers. You should have vetted them people out a whole lot better.
Oh, you're talking to me.
You're the boss man here.
I wasn't here at that point in time.
Maybe this is some corporate espionage and it went dirty.
Wow. I could do it.
Although right now, I know that I have some of the best and the brightest in the entire colony with me.
Where are they?
Right here,
They're up
you
that hill.
dipshit.
Oh shit, my
He's
bad.
talking about us.
Okay. I didn't know we were lying today, but all right.
They're up that hill.
He's half truth, you know? One's true, other ain't. We appreciate you being here.
Oh, of course. You're welcome.
Okay, so Krish, Shell, you get to the base of this outcropping. Again, it's a series of like these kind of gray blue rocks that are erupting up from the ground, kind of twisting and turning here and there, different angles, and they go up probably about 15 or 20 feet. And that's about the height at which you can see the body is hanging. When you look up, you can see they're dressed in gear fairly common with Seegson. Like you can kind of see from down here. It's very obvious. Looks to be a man, you can tell. And he definitely seems to have like ice and snow and such kind of covered him. Like he's been up here for a little while at least. But that's all you can really see from the ground. And you are up a slight hill. You're not like, it's not like a major hill. It's just sort of like an incline, nothing too crazy. And you can see about 100 yards or so away is the rover still kind of on the flattened ground that you've all been driving along since it's close to one of the riverbeds. Around you, you can see that there's some undulation. There's also some vegetation. You can see a lot of those very thin trees that you saw elsewhere that just seem to kind of very easily bend in the wind and don't seem to snap at the same process, just like you saw out by the shuttle crash site. And that's what you currently see. What do the two of you want to do?
I would say Michelle might have had a similar thought about sort of if this person were to have done this themselves, how might they have gotten themselves to kind of where this is? Could they have like swung from somewhere or jumped from somewhere or kind of hoisted themselves up somewhere?
I would say no roll necessary. Like you can like this definitely this growth of rocks and earth coming up. Like it's climbable. Like it's got various nooks and crannies. Like it'll be slippery, obviously, because there's ice and such. But it's certainly something that could be climbed. I would say observation, but give yourself. I mean, if you do it from down here, it would be like I would give you like a -2 penalty on this, because you can't quite see because it's a 15 or 20 feet above you. If you went up, you wouldn't get that penalty, but you'd also have to climb. So it's kind of your choice on that.
Critter can help you climb because she wants to look at the body. She can like boost you up.
So I would just looking at it from right here, I got 1 success.
Okay.
On just straight wits.
What you can see is that wrapped around, in addition to the rock itself, you can see there's these kind of blue, very dark blue vines of some kind of vegetation that kind of weaves around and in some of the rocks and the crevices, and it does seem to be what's wrapped around the guy's neck and what he's hanging from, and that's what you can see with 1 success.
Prisha, I from this vantage point, I can't tell if this was self-inflicted or something nefarious.
Let me boost you up. Krisha's thought is not that he did this himself, but that someone did this to him, and that someone is out here still. So she's kind of on edge, and will happily give Michelle a boost up.
Okay.
Thinking of how well she scampered up that tree before.
Okay, so are you staying on the ground and just kind of like boosting her while she goes up? Okay, then Michelle, give me
suggesting that she cut her down.
Okay, Michelle, give me like a mobility. Take a +1 from Krish giving you a hand. Okay, one success is all you need.
1 so far. Yeah, just 1.
Yeah, 1's all you need. So it's a little slippery. Once or twice, maybe a foot kind of. We lost Jeremy, but we're gonna keep going. People are not in the right places, but we're gonna stick with it anyway. Melissa, or Michelle, you start climbing up, and you notice that it's kind of slippery. You lose your foot every now and then. You can get various crevices, handholds, and footholds, but you can eventually climb out onto that horizontal extension. And so now you're like literally on top of the rock, and you notice that he's hanging from, and you notice that there are many like winds of this vine around that horizontal rock. What would you like to do?
So she, I imagine, has something sharp that she's got kind of on her, and so she's going to kind of shout down to Krish, "I'm gonna cut him down. Can you catch him?"
Try.
For medical examination, I would prefer to be able to view the body as it is without any additional broken bones.
Yeah,
you ready?
I'll try.
You're
okay.
It's a little to the right. A little to the right. Yep. Oh, okay.
Give me a mobility test.
That looks fine.
Give me a mobility test, Krisha.
1 success.
No problem. That last little nudge to the right, body falls. It's fairly icy. It's fairly heavy, obviously. And as it hits you, you can feel it's rigid. There's like a rigor mortis, but at the same time, there's an exterior like squishiness to it as you start to grab it and maybe set it down. And you can feel like there's a give on the outside, but then eventually it comes to this hardened core where there's no more give whatsoever. And you have it in your hand. Meanwhile,
sorry, I rolled that. I'm not sure if you actually wanted my turn to roll for catching. Sorry, I rolled.
I did. Yes, I wanted.
Sorry.
Catch. Yeah, sorry.
I jumped right in, and then I was like, "Oh no, that description was not me."
Let me roll.
Even better. Yeah, you one-hand it out of the air. Just one-hand it, no problem.
Told you.
Okay, so back in the rover, the 3 of you go ahead if you want, you don't have to. If you want to do something else, go right ahead. But if you're like watching or looking at them or anything like that, go ahead and roll observation.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I'll be watching because I'm probably sitting there thinking, if they would have just asked, we could have gone up there with the winch and just lowered that thing down nice and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Chris is yelling to you, it's okay to be impressed.
Thumbs up.
Man, she
Okay.
could have been on the cheerleading team. You like those people that could do that one arm like
Oh, wow.
military
Yeah.
press?
You think all that upper body strength you have to have for that?
I wish
So-
I could have been a dang good cheerleader.
Skeeter and Scooter, you notice that there are these like geysers shooting up from the earth, like these. You just see maybe each one of them, goes up about 10, 15 feet and just kind of shoots like ice and maybe some kind of gas. And you can see that it's like each one of them is starting to pop. And it's like each interval is getting closer and closer to that rock formation. Jack, you notice that too, but you also notice that there are these 3 wolf-like looking creatures that are literally 5 feet from Krisha as she's now caught this thing in her hand, and they are slowly and carefully on the ground moving up, and you watch as they're literally on the verge of pouncing.
Krishna, behind you.
Drop the body and look at me.
You drop the body, you turn around, you look behind you, and there's nothing there.
Man, there is something coming. You drag that body, get back here
Jackie
fast.
boy.
And-
Gentlemen, can we get up there in a hurry?
Right as
we're
you're
in a
watching this,
vehicle.
right as you're watching,
We're driving.
Chris, you drop the body, you look around, they shout back at you, and you're like looking, and you watch as the body just starts moving at immense speed horizontally on the ground. You just watch it go, just kind of dragged away from you, ridiculously fast. Jack, you see that there are 2 of these creatures that have like bitten onto the ankles of this thing and are just dragging it away at big speed. The third one is kind of slowly still standing there and like stalking around Krisha.
Can we get up there in a hurry, gentlemen?
Okay, all right.
All right, put it in
Can
drive.
I do a thing?
You can do, yeah, go right ahead. You're right there. So Chris, what do you want to do?
chasing after the body because I have
Okay.
no fucking idea what the hell's happening.
What
Absolutely.
are you doing? What are you doing?
I need to get it back. I need it.
Okay. Who's driving again? Was it Skeeter or was it Scooter that was driving?
I think it was Skater this time.
Yeah.
All right, give me a piloting test as you try to get up there quickly.
Okay.
Krisha, give me a mobility test as you try to chase after this thing. And then Michelle and Jack, what are the 2 of you up to?
Michelle clearly thinks that she can just jump because she has immense
Melissa jumps,
overestimation
it
of
is
her
not.
own skills.
Okay.
I think Michelle can jump for what it's worth.
Okay. Okay. So
Didn't
you're
you-
just going to jump, Michelle? You're just going to jump down?
Sure am.
Roll mobility as you hop down.
This is clearly going to be 3-point stance land superhero style.
Oh,
Of
Okay.
course.
There's only,
No, it's
That's
not.
a fail. Do you
No,
wanna
it's
push?
not. Yes.
it wouldn't be a game. Oh,
I
okay.
was
Successes.
just thinking that.
The first, like at the beginning, you go to jump, but it's like the classic, like maybe not, and then like your foot kind of gets caught in the vine really quick, and you start to stumble, but then you fall. But as you do, you somehow in the fall kind of catch you kind of get your balance, and you just happen to land perfectly on the ground. Of course, like as you do, you hear something. You hear, and you watch it in front of you, maybe like 3 feet in front of you. There's just suddenly, you know how when people breathe, you can see like the breath in the cold air.
Mhm,
You just
mhm.
see the breath of the cold air, and that's all you see. You see nothing else. Meanwhile, Krish, you're chasing after, you're running, and you grab the body. But as you do, like you're on like you're doing water skiing, you just feel yourself get pulled, and now suddenly you're holding on to like an arm, and you're just like hydroplaning across the ice. Skeeter, you have turned really fast. You've driven up towards the actual rock outcropping. Is that correct? And then Jack, what are you doing?
Do you see them now? I'll ask to the guys.
They do not.
I fucking believe you though.
So you don't. That's what you're saying.
I
I
don't
didn't
see
know
nothing.
we were on a slope here. My whole senses must be.
Well,
I
man,
think
your vertigo
sliding
kicks in at
fast.
the weirdest damn times.
It does. It does. I got to hold my head like this for a while, and it'll go away.
Gentlemen, do we have any sort of armament here?
You guys can see
got a
the
flare
the
gun.
stats of it. You can see the stats of it. That you don't have any weapons on the on your rover. You do have like a hull and armor speed and all that kind of stuff, or armor rating and speed. But you don't. It's not equipped with any weapons specifically.
I mean, when in doubt, vehicular manslaughter they count that as a form of weaponry.
Some sort
Allegedly.
of hunting rifle. There's wolves about.
I got a flashlight.
I mean, I got mining charges, but we got friends out there too.
I gotta tell you,
All right.
man, you didn't really put in the funding for us to be armed like that.
Yes.
While-
Well, if I'd had the funding, I would have put it.
While
in.
this conversation is happening, there is stuff that's happening outside. So this seems like it's
Mhm.
meandering. So we're
Yeah.
going to go back outside then. And Michelle, as you're watching this icy breath, you hear this howl just come out. Go ahead and increase your stress level by 1. Make a panic roll as you hear from like this cloud of breath. This sound of like this gargled howl comes out. Meanwhile, Krish, as you're kind of getting dragged across the ice, you also see like as the pulling kind of the strength gets a little bit less and you're not moving as fast, you also suddenly hear this sound of this howl like right in your ear, like right next to you. I need you to go ahead and increase your stress level by 1 and make a panic roll immediately. So go ahead and increase stress by 1, and then if you look in the upper right, just click on stress, and it'll roll the panic for you.
It's not rolling. Give me just 1 second.
Okay.
There we go.
How did you do, Michelle?
There we go. Panic +1, keeping it together.
Okay, so you're fine, but you do hear like the sound of something like howling in your ear. Michelle, how did you do on yours?
Oh, not so good. Panic condition +3, drop an item.
Okay, so whatever you had, like your knife that you were using to cut is probably what probably falls, whatever it is, like a scalpel, something like that, falls to the ground. Meanwhile, back in the truck, back in the rover, you can see there's 2 things now. There's now Michelle who has jumped off the rocks. There's now Krish who's just effectively just being pulled across the ice. She's slowed down a little bit. And I'll say the 3 of you can hear that howl, but you can't necessarily see exactly where it's coming from.
Okay.
Where are you driving this, Skeeter?
I'm trying to get it up as close as possible. Initially, I was hoping to get close to both of them. I didn't initially plan for Christian to get dragged away, but initially get up to the initial spot so like Michelle can get into the vehicle ASAP, and then we might have to follow after Krisha, because that's my number 1 concern. Get them inside the armored vehicle.
Okay.
Figure out other stuff later.
So how'd you do on your pilot? You got like a 2 success on your piloting roll. So you turn it up. You go up that slight ridge. You turn upwards. You kind of come to a stop. It's a big hulking rover, so it's not like you're Tokyo drifting or anything like that. But you're able to get it like right up next to Michelle. And Michelle, you see the door start to open up. You drop your whatever it is, your scalpel to the ground. You still hear that howl effect. What do you want to do, Michelle?
Michelle is just gonna see it and see just how far ahead Krish is, and she's just gonna jump in the window to get inside. Like,
Okay.
Can I
what the
lean
hell
out
is
and
going
reach
on?
for her as well to?
Oh
help pull
yeah,
me?
for
Okay.
sure. Michelle, make a mobility test. Take a +1 as Scooter tries to give you a hand. Jack, you see the door as the rover comes up next to it. You see the door open up. You see Michelle go to leap in. Scooter reach out and grab her arm and help pull her in. This creature that you see it opens these jaws, and it has like the mouth almost like a fairly narrow, like crocodilian like mouth, right? but it's got this body that's more like a wolf, and it tries to snap down right on Michelle right as Scooter is able to pull her inside, and the door begins to close. It doesn't hop in after, but it kind of stares in at you with these red, beady, like vertical irised eyes as the door is now. I mean, do you close the door or do you keep it open, Scooter?
Once she's inside, I close it.
Door closes and you no longer see it.
I saw like there was breathing right in front of me, but there wasn't anything there to be breathing, but I just saw the breath.
You
Like,
don't
in and
see
out.
them. Seriously, you don't see them. It's right there. It was right behind you.
What? See what?
The-
See what?
The wolves, I've been telling you all. There are wolves here.
So
Wolf-like
Krish is
creatures.
currently
They are alien.
Krish is being pulled away right now by wolves. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Yeah, man.
you don't see them.
No.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Not
How many
one
times
was
do I have to
two.
freaking tell you? No, I don't see them.
How many
But
times
here's
do
the
I have to
thing.
freaking tell you?
Congratulations.
I see them.
That's
are
great.
very
Maybe
special.
tell us next time that you've seen them so we
He
can
did mention
avoid them.
something.
He
He
did.
did. Yeah.
So while sitting in the comfort of this vehicle, nowhere near where we were.
I didn't see them approaching you until I yelled out behind you.
And so Michelle's just like looking, like kind of like leaning up towards where Skeeter is driving, just trying to like look ahead and see where Krish is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So last we saw Krish, she was getting dragged away. And she's at this point, and she was dragged away with probably much greater strength than her initially. But Jack, once the second one kind of pulled off, and you saw one kind of started to sort of move in the direction of Krisha, it now is going to attempt an attack. Krisha, you still can't see them, can you? All right. Go ahead and take 1 point of damage, Krish. And you feel suddenly a bite on your like Achilles, your ankle. You just feel, and you look down, and right where your ankle is that you hadn't, like, there's nothing around you. There is now, in this kind of slow reveal, this like, as if the light is kind of starting to unfold around it. There is now some kind of like reptilian creature with this big diamond-shaped mouth, fur on its back and sides that's sticking up from these scales, and it's tearing away at your ankle.
Okay,
And,
that's like
yeah.
7 kinds of terrifying. I'm gonna shoot it immediately.
Okay, so that means letting go of the body, if that's
Yes.
the case. So you let go of the body, and now there's this thing
Yes.
like kind of like digging away at you, and you're gonna go ahead and take a shot. Yeah, go right ahead. Take a -1 as you are. It's like literally on top of you, and fire as you fire down on it.
That's just clicking on the gun. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you can. You can go ahead and in your inventory where your active weapon is, you can go in and like, where is it? Sorry, I was looking at Melissa's. That's not the right one. Your Krish. Okay, so you go in where you don't have any active. So would you have your revolver out? You think?
Yeah. I was trying to make that my active. The 12
Alright.
gauge pump action.
There you go. So that's active. Oh, well, wait. That's the shotgun. So the shotgun is the 12 gauge pump action. Which one do you think
I'm
it would
sorry. I was misreading. What you have up there is right. The
Okay, so
revolver.
then right. So since in this case, because it's like slowly unveiling itself, go ahead and right click on it and then give yourself a -1 base modifier when it pops up,
Thanks.
and then hit OK, and you'll be able to roll.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you you've got your ankle is now almost is now fully being torn through, and you hold the gun down, you fire, you see like a burst of scale and like blood, this sort of blue tinted blood, almost purple, erupt, kind of catch a little bit on your clothes a bit. As you do hit it, you had a stress, but you're good. You kept it together, and then, as we'll say, the end of your turn. But this thing is still biting away at your foot. Jack, again, you see what's happening to Chris. You can see.
Sorry to interrupt. Does my stress go up by one?
It should automatically do it. It should. For keeping it together, it doesn't automatically go up.
Put it up. Oh, okay.
No, for keeping it together, you don't increase your stress. Okay.
Thank you.
And you haven't taken like a critical injury. You just took a damage. So,
Yeah,
Jack, you can see this thing is attacking her. No one else can see this thing. You also can see now the body is being dragged away on its own accord. It's like, so for three of you, it just looks like the body is just on its back, just sliding across in the hydroplaning in the earth.
Mm-mm.
What do you guys want to
Hey,
do?
right.
There's one still dragging it. And there's another that's currently dismantling Krishna.
Well, that body really can't get a whole lot deader, so we should help Krish.
I
We
would-
get any stress blankets? Like
I
when
don't.
somebody goes in shock.
Maybe.
Don't give a shit if it's invisible. Not toss the stress
I'm
blanket
sure
on
you
top
have
of the leg.
blankets. It's
Yeah,
very, very
grab
cold.
the blanket,
it's
toss
very,
it in
very
your
cold
leg.
on this mood. You probably
Okay.
have blankets on
Great.
this trip. Yeah.
Give
Great,
me closer
great.
to it.
Great idea.
Okay. So
I
Skeeter,
can
give me.
see it. Let me go get closer to it.
Okay, Skeeter, give me another piloting test as you try to get this thing close to Krish without hitting Krish. As you get it close enough that the door can be thrown open and someone can toss this on top of it. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Just try not to run over her. Okay, I get to.
Okay, perfect. That's totally fine. So you're gonna go ahead and just pull up alongside. We'll say I think Scooter was by the door. If you wanted to open the door up again, Scooter.
Yeah,
And
I
you
hope we're
can-
in.
And you can see like Krish is bleeding. There's blood in the ground, and it's just like, and from your angle, it just looks like it's kind of spurting out of her leg and her ankle and falling onto the ground here and there. And she's firing at something, and you can see that in addition to like her blue blood, you see this like purplish kind of viscous fluid like on the ground as well, and no real source of it.
Did you say her blue blood?
No, hers was red.
Oh,
I meant-
okay.
It's okay. I mean,
was
I heard
about
it
to close
too.
The door.
If
I
it was
heard it,
white,
yeah.
that would be bad.
He's been playing mind games on us with all this traitor talk.
Right.
I told you. Listen, you saw what you saw.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm.
So
Is she able to make it in?
probably in a second. I'm just going to give everyone a round of something to do, and then she'll get another thing. So, but I'll say you open the door, but you still can do something. So if there's still something more you want to do, Scooter, you're welcome to.
My goal is to get her inside as quick as possible. So like, open the door and lean out as far as possible. That way she doesn't have as far to go, and I can
Okay.
pull her on in.
And Jack, you were going to throw a blanket over top. Is that what you're going to do?
Jack grabs the blanket. He's
Okay.
on the edge of the vehicle, and you see him like step forward and hesitate for like the briefest second, and then jump out and try and wrap this thing up, like tackle it and wrap it up in the blanket.
Ooh, I love
All
it. I love it.
right.
I
Mr.
love it.
Corporate.
Yeah,
So
he
heroic.
got
Oh
like,
yes.
he got scared and then second guessed it and then did it.
Give
Nice.
me a close combat, but you can take a +1 to this because it is like actively
Oh.
trying to bite her foot off, so it's not really
It's
paying
not
attention to
good.
you.
I love this so much.
It's
Did
great,
not
man.
expect that from our corporate agent. I'm so happy.
So
hero.
we do it.
What a hero. You
You
wanna push that?
well, yes, we should push it.
Okay.
That's perfect. That's
You leap
perfect, I
out.
think.
I
With
love
the
it better than I
blanket.
failed, honestly.
At the last second, just totally accidentally, it just happens to shift its body weight, and you go like tripping and stumbling over top of it into the snow, the ice. The blanket is
Mhm.
right there next to you as well, but you miss, and
Okay.
you're on the opposite side. So now, like Krish and this thing are between you and the actual rover. Michelle, what did you want to do?
So Michelle had her gun out and she's gonna shoot.
Okay, blindly. or are you going to shoot Jack? You can shoot Christian with her blue blood.
Just shoot him.
So
She's clearly not
I'm
human.
trying not to meta this, but like I don't think she would have had belief that he would be successful. So I think she's going to shoot where
Wow.
she thinks that it would have been. Because
Okay.
I'm guessing like he and Adam, you can say no to this, but like I'm guessing he was kind of saying like it's right there, it's on her left ankle, it's got her. It's like kind of like saying out loud where it was.
He was pointing. He didn't have it together enough to say on her left
so
ankle.
So she
He
shoots
pointed, though.
in the direction
Yeah.
of where the pointing was.
Absolutely. I think
This
you
is-
could still take the shot, but I was going to give you a penalty on that,
Sorry.
but Melissa's
Sorry,
just
I thought
roll happy.
I thought there was going to be a pop-up that was going to come, so I thought I was just preparing for whatever
It's
you're going to say.
It's fine.
And it rolled.
I'll say the shot goes off. So it's gonna do some damage to it, and you can see as you're firing, literally at nothing. You just see her leg kind of being tugged away, and you fire out in front of it, and there is and you see that kind of like some sort of eruption of scales, fur, and blood, and it drips down to the ground. You hear like this sound. All of you within close proximity can hear it, as if something just got shot. However, that sound and the fact that you just shot something invisible has caused you to freeze. You're frozen by fear or stress for 1 round, losing your next slow action, your stress level, and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range. So that's everyone. Go ahead, increases by 1, as maybe you don't trust your doctor firing at Christian. I don't know. Never might be. Okay. All right.
Oh no.
What are you doing, Michelle?
I hit it. What did I just hit? I shot it and I hit it.
It was-
I hit it.
it was
That's none of
Jack.
the questions
what
you
you got.
ask when you shoot a gun.
Was it? I know it.
I'm sorry.
Cheers, screech from outside. What the fuck?
Okay. Meanwhile, Krish, do you what do you have for armor?
Damn it, I'm all stressed out. What do I have for armor?
Oh, never mind. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. You feel like the weight of your leg kind of be shifted and turned as if it's trying to like knock you down. Like you can feel as though something now has like lifted up, and I would say Jack, you can actually no, Krisha, you can see it too. This thing like leaps up and tries to essentially like take one of these long loping limbs and just sort of wrap you around and slam you to the ground, but you're able to dodge out of the way of it, and you do not fall prone. You do not drop all your items, and you do not have to make a panic roll, as you do manage to dodge out of the way as it misses. Effectively it misses, and then you can go, Krish. What do you want to do?
I'm shooting this thing again.
Yeah, and you can see it now, so no penalty. Just free reign. Go for it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh god damn.
Wow.
Let's see. That's
5 successes.
all right. Let me roll something really fast. All right.
I'm using
Uh,
up all your dice, Melissa.
Describe how you kill
need
this
it.
thing. Describe how you kill this thing, Krish.
I don't think it's a whole lot more complicated than a fucking headshot, because she's like in full survival mode.
So it leaps up, tries to knock you down. You turn. It looks like it's about to do it again. The gun goes right to the head and then makes it a canoe. The rest of you watch as right in front of your eyes, this is Scooter, this is Michelle, this is Skeeter. Each of you just watch as like this eruption of gore, and you just see like materialize like almost like a holograph. This creature, the body is just kind of swaying there for a moment and then collapses to the ground. So Scooter, Michelle, Skeeter, both of you go ahead and take a point of stress, as this previously invisible thing is now right there in front of you in this horrific explosion of gore, as there's a body now dead in front of you. What would you like to do? The body of the dead human is still being dragged away.
I think we let that go, but we bring this in for study.
I mean, yeah,
Actually, I
we're
got
gonna
an
bring this
idea.
in for study. I
I'm gonna
do
get the
think
pup up in the air.
We can get it. And like Michelle hit it once, so she's like, I can do it again. So she's gonna try to shoot at the body being dragged away, but at the thing that's dragging it
Well,
away
I
shoot
that
the
she
body.
can't see. She's gonna try
get
to shoot.
out of the cab of the truck first, and then do that.
Just firing out the front windshield.
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh, God.
Go ahead and again do the penalty. Right click and then you can add the penalty. And here's your try to
Okay.
fire.
You said -2?
Yeah. But you can still take a shot with it. Actually, wait a second. Well, yeah, we'll say you're panicked. You're because I think you were panicked before. So once you're free, like your frozen moment stops for a second. Everyone's staring down at this body, trying to decide what to do with it. You just turn and you start blasting off in the direction of where the body is being dragged away. It's about I don't know, 50, 60 yards away. You fire
I've got to study that
off.
body. I've got to study that body.
So you are panicking. You need to use your next action to move away from danger and find a safe spot if possible. There's a giant body on the ground. There's the human body being dragged away by something invisible. And everybody else, with Michelle crazily firing in the distance at this thing, go ahead and take a point of stress as she is starting to lose it.
So I'd like to imagine she had like kind of the gun was pointed out like this window, like driver's side window, and then she's like following it through, and then Scooter's like, get out, like make sure to shoot outside. So she sort of like is leaning out the window now, shooting passenger side as it continues to run away.
Like right in front of my face. Just
And right by Chris's head.
When that
Can't
just
hear
doesn't seem to be
anything.
working, she just jumps all the way out and just gets under the vehicle.
Well,
And that's
that-
her take cover.
ruins
So-
all the plans.
At that point, Jack is going to rush over to Krisha and he's going to take the blanket he has and just like wrap it around her legs. He doesn't know any better, so he's just putting it on her legs. And then he's going to say, "Are you all right?"
Did someone make you do that, or did you do that?
Do what?
That.
No one made me do anything. I am of my own faculties. Speaking
Okay.
of that, now hold on to this as he gets up and good. I will assume since you're speaking, you're all right. And he walks over to the vehicle and he bends down, looks under, and he is going to say, Michelle, you are gravely needed by us. You are important, and that's why you're here. It's time to.
But I can't
show-
see them. How can I shoot them if I can't see them? I can't see them until I hit them. How am I supposed to shoot at them?
That's for Krishna to do. Your purpose is to put her back together. So that was your time to shine. As he's trying to, like, he doesn't understand game mechanics, but he's trying to manipulate her into doing her job. So
I can't see it. I can't see it. So you've got to tell me. You've got to tell me. You say you can see them. So you've got to tell me. Can you see one?
I'll look up and look around. Do I see one?
Yeah, you see one dragging the body away. And you see one that's kind of running off in the distance away from like that, like where the ruins were. It's like running away. It's like fleeing at this point.
Yes, that one is going away. It's got breakfast, lunch, and over there's reinforcements. But they're both going away.
I can send the pup off
great.
after that. We can go later after you take care of things.
Can somebody give me my bag? My bag. She's got nap relief in her bag, so she's looking for somebody to get her some nap
Chris is
relief.
sitting there poking at it, and probably
Yeah.
making it hello.
Mr. Girl, points at Scooter and points to the bag and said, Scooter, would you administer this to Michelle?
How do I administer a bag? I'll just pick it up and hand it to her if that's all right. And I'll do that.
Thank you. That
That's-
works. That works. Thank you. I can inject myself. Thank you.
That's how you administer it. Yes.
Oh, okay. I would imagine that you interrupted me. I was going to say we should go after it, but after she jumped under the vehicle, makes it a little hard not to get an extra squish on takeoff. So I would have been probably out there just getting that winch and getting the cable wrapped around this thing's corpse so we can drag it into the back.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. I mean, it's the size of like a Great Dane, you know, so it's like a really
I'll just
big,
pick it up then.
Yeah. I think you could probably drag it in on your own. But yeah, you can do that. Immediately, you're like, remember you have those two doctors, both who this whole time have been like cowering behind their working Joes. But there's two of them. One of them, Dr. Morgan, is a xenobiologist, and so when you drag in this alien creature, she is both fascinated but also like at the same time saddened because it's dead. So she's like, "You have to kill it."
Hey, it wasn't me. We got a lead on another one that has not been murdered yet. So after we get the doctor out from under the tires, we're gonna go try and catch that other one. You got
Very
like a
good.
tranquilizer gun or something?
I
I could really take the edge off a little.
High or low, Chuck?
Oh, look high.
She's
That
got a
was the joke.
tranquilizer. What was it called? I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, she's got a small trank gun or a small tranquilizer.
right.
So sure, yeah, she does actually have one of those. Okay, good to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it though. I don't intend to use it. I'm gonna hand it to Krish.
Okay.
Like, even with all that blood loss, I think he still might be a better shot.
I'll take the track. Oh, so it's not for me.
No, why would I be
Oh.
tranking you? No, you got to shoot the thing.
I'm gonna take the edge off too.
How many rounds does it got?
I'm gonna do another roll. It's got 4.
All right,
so I'll go. So it's the, we'll call it the, just grab a BioNational TX9. It's the injection device. So grab that one. It's like a pistol.
you,
It's an air
Chris.
pistol. And then there's 4
There's gonna be
basically
3.
tranquilizers. Yeah.
It's gonna be 3 because I'm gonna take one and pop the top off and like, here, just take a little dab of this, just rub it on your gums, take the edge right off.
Yes, I am absolutely taking as much as Scooter will allow me to have.
Honestly, I got no idea on this. I'm just pulling shit out my ass. I hope she
This
don't
is
fall
like-
asleep.
Right when Michelle like injected herself and she comes up and she's like, "Oh, what did Miss Khan, what did you just ingest?"
Oh, just some of this. Well, that whole thing really sucked, but it was also pretty awesome. So
I hope you didn't take the
is-
whole thing. You're just supposed to take tiny, like, stab,
You-
just like.
Only
This is
if
a
it's
dab.
only
This
if
is much.
Did-
This is a
I'm
dab.
sorry. Did you
Wait.
go to medical school? I'm sorry.
Wait.
Did you, Scooter? Did you?
I went to the School of Hard Knocks, and in the School of
That's-
Hard Knocks, they taught you how much ketamine is the right amount to take.
Oh,
Chris-
oh,
Chris,
oh.
roll
So
a stamina
very, very
Chris,
well.
roll a stamina test. And see if
dosed.
Scooter passed his hard knocks exam on ketamine. Ketamine 101. Oh goodness.
Can
All right.
Michelle check out Krish's leg?
Hang on.
And get
Yeah,
that
let me get
situated?
that stamina test from Krish first to see if she passes out from overdosing on ketamine from
Oh, shit,
Scooter.
I just hope she don't end up in that cable. Look,
All right,
she's-
you're fine. You're okay. You're okay. It's all you're definitely a little like woozy here and there. Maybe there's a touch too much, but like it quickly. You're okay. You're fine. You're fine. You're gonna live forever.
Wait a minute.
You want
Michelle,
some?
Michelle.
Yes.
What
yes.
did you just call her?
I
You-
called her Miss Khan.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought I heard something else. Never mind.
Shatner.
I'm so glad that and then she's just examining the leg. She's just examining Krish's leg, trying to get it gets bleeding to stop, get it situated, make sure it's not broken.
You're a better doctor than you are a shot, right? Because you're a pretty bad shot,
I hit it. Thank you very much.
I guess.
I mean, I didn't kill it like you did. I mean, just one shot and it was completely gone. So good job. But I did hit it, even though I couldn't see it. Did you see it when you shot it?
I did. We're shooting.
Yeah, not quite so impressive then, is it?
Oh, God.
I didn't realize it was still
Ooh.
impressive.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get the burn kit out.
Man.
Michelle's had a
Getting
really
nasty back
bad
there.
I to a register.
hour right now. She's not doing too well.
It's okay. Chris is too high to register anything that is not a compliment.
One success on the medical aid.
Okay. Well, you don't even really need to do anything. She wasn't broken, so she would have recovered
Okay.
anyway. But if you want to make Michelle feel really good about herself, yeah, like she's definitely the reason why over the course of the next 15 or so minutes, if you're able to patch it up, no problem. Yeah.
It's very well wrapped
Mhm,
and
mhm.
managing mobility and over hyperextension and all of that. It looks very well attended to.
Okay. So at this point, we'll say 20 minutes probably have passed now since this fight. Skeeter, was there something you wanted to do before
Earlier I
move
was
it
hoping
forward?
to get the pup up in the air
Yeah.
to
Yeah, it's not a
basically
problem.
send the pup in the direction of the body, because it doesn't just do the video. It can also
Mhm.
scan for life signs, atmospheric conditions, toxins. So he's wondering if he can flip through the various different like environmental things see if he knows there's something next to the body. So he's just flipping through the various settings that it can scan and seeing if something will pick up.
Right. And it's got a range. I think it's got like extreme range, I think. So I think
Extreme range, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's give me a Comtech roll. And so we'll say as the next 15 or 20 minutes pass, as Scooter is giving Chris drugs and Michelle is trying to patch her up, you're spending some time looking at this. We'll say the truck is stationary. Then you get the pup in the air, and you do notice that we'll say about half a mile off, we'll say to the north, which is like the direction like you guys have moved away from the river path that you were taking, that kind of the flattened ground along the river that you were following for a while. And you can see like a little bit off to the northwest. You do notice that there are two bodies, two living things. You do notice like there's some undulation, and then it looks like there's like a hollow in the earth. Like almost like there's like an underground cave or something like that, and that appears to be like where those living things are. In terms of, I'm trying to remember from the movies, like it actually gave some decent shape, so you can kind of see the terrain for a ways for maybe about a half a mile to a mile, and you notice that there is, it's like you would suspect it's kind of like a den, and there's two bodies in there, and they're like, you would guess they're probably eating.
Right. I tracked where those things went. I was hoping this thing might pick up something on how they're doing what they're doing. I don't get it, but there's a cave up yonder where they are well, they're having their lunch.
I have set Krish's ankle. It is supported. Are we going to pursue?
Not without a good game plan, I don't think. I don't like fighting stuff I can't see. If we come up with something clever, man, I'll be down with a plan. But I ain't just hopping down into a cave with invisible fucking space wolves.
But girls can see them, so he can give us status updates, and we would know where we should target.
That's true. And Geralt has some monstrous fucking balls on him. I can't believe you did the shit you did. But that's one set of eyes. And there's more than one of these things. And look at what they did to her leg.
I failed to see how my anatomy played into it, but I'm assuming that's a compliment.
It is, man. If you do die, I'm going to get them bronzed for you.
And Michelle will turn to the botanist doctor that we had with us.
Yeah, let's ask about plants.
Unfortunately, I I dropped it was on the body. I was hoping to share it with you, but there was a vine that was very wrapped around where the body had been hanging. And I wondered if if he hung himself or if we're dealing with some sort of aggressive fauna, perhaps. But the sample that I cut was on the body that went that way.
And you want me to follow up on this by purely theorizing without having any kind of evidence? Could you get another sample? Could you recover the body?
I can describe it to you so that if you come across more of these, just know that they could perhaps have been aggressive.
Well,
and so she'll name like the color and like kind of what it looked like.
I must remind us that our objective.
I didn't mean to do that.
Our objective is to see about potential prospecting. Is there anyone here that believes that this is worth the deviation? Because if we do deviate, this lessens our chances of meeting our prime objective.
I think this is what you might call an opportunity cost. These things like to live in caves. Apparently, most places you're going to go prospecting probably got caves. More we learn about this bullshit now, less likely we are to get blindsided later.
I agree with that.
You make a good point, and it's well made. Where is this in comparison to our destination?
That's a good question.
It's northwest, so it's like you guys are heading west basically. So it's not like completely, and it's not that far away. It's like a half a mile away. So it's like because your pup can't go forever. But you guys are heading westward.
So it's a slight deviation. The question is, I'm not very astute at matters of combat hunting. I failed miserably in my attempt, even if it was brave, as you put it. But who is going to be the one tranquilizing these?
Okay, well, here's the thing. We got food supplies, right? Do we got meat?
Something that
Right.
passes as meat.
Something that passes at least?
I mean, we got one of their corpses.
Maybe, Doc, I understand you haven't had too much of a chance to study it, but if you had to make an educated guess, do you think any of our knockout drugs might be, could they plug and play with that thing?
So you turn over into the back and you can see that Dr. Morgan has a glove all the way up to her elbow, and her elbow is like right into the chest cavity, and she's just sort of moving around.
It's not the shoulder.
What's that? And she's just, ooh, that's interesting. Ooh. Okay. And she's like pulls a sack out and just drops it. And she pulls another one, like one after the other. What was the question? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Do you think
if you had to make a guess? Oh, sorry, Miss Girl.
Do you think they would be susceptible to our tranquilizer?
Well, they have a heart. They have lungs. They have stomach. She opens it up a little bit, like kind of puts a little cut into it. And this is all like right on the floor in the back of and so like, it's like, it reeks back here now. And you can see like the entrails are beginning to pour out and everything. It's a biological creature. There's no certainty that our pharmaceuticals are going to affect it in the way that would affect us or the creatures that we're used to dealing with. But
it does have a circulatory system, seeing as how
it does. Its blood, however, is different. And she kind of holds up the heart, and she's like, and there's more than 4 chambers, I think, in here. And she's like doing like this super quick like thing. So it's definitely not the same, but
is it different as a non-Newtonian or just a different color? I mean, I know we can't get an exact chemical makeup, but
until I have a lab, I'm not comfortable making any.
I just wanted to know how it was different. Was it color or consistency?
Color, yes, indeed. But here, and she's just like swipes a little bit on you. It's temperature. The whole thing is ice cold. here, put your hand here. It's very safe. He's dead. And so she grabs one of her hands and just kind of puts it out, and it is freezing cold.
It is cooler than cool.
Ice cold.
Yeah.
So
Uh-oh.
we, to Mr. Gerald's point, we do have a job that we're out here to do. Last time we had a job to do, we did it not quite the right way, and that's how we find ourselves out here doing this thing. So should we just go and do the job that we're here to do and just know something that we didn't know before, or do we want to go cave?
This is
diving?
what I surmise. If we are successful in both, we will be rewarded. If we are not successful in the primary objective, even if we are successful in this, at best, we'll be reprimanded.
Well, that already happened, so. But we could do both, and so her eyes sort of light up at the idea that we could do both things and overachieve our mission.
I have a question for you, Jeff. My cutting torch, while they're all going on about whether we should or won't, I'm trying to solve the actual problem here. My cutting torch, I don't know if you've ever burnt a hand torch or, a cutting torch with, it's all acetylene and no oxygen going to it, but it sits up mighty fierce. Would my little cutting torch actually be running off of gases, or is it all like plasma electricity based?
I don't know if they actually get into that in detail. I don't know. What does it say? I'm not really
doesn't.
sure. I know it abstracts it with supply. So it just says power supply. I know that's how it works. I don't know if it's in the description though somewhere.
Okay. Because I was just trying to
why do
think
you
of
ask?
some. Well, my idea was like make like some kind of like pipe bomb, something like if Skeeter's saying they're in this den, we just chuck this in, it explodes and it burns, but it just suits up, and all of a sudden these creatures are covered with soot, and now you can see them, and now you can shoot them.
So
Yeah, I
it
was
is a
gonna try and-
laser. It is a laser cutting torch.
It's a laser. Damn.
Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah,
rough.
that's what it says.
How many of them little animals did we save?
I
Who?
think someone had like a whole group of them when they came out. I know Scooter had one, and then like Michelle came out and just totally topped him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we could just blow one of them up and make another kind of paint. That doesn't sound nice.
No, it doesn't.
I'll keep thinking. Y'all keep arguing. I'll keep thinking.
Yeah. My thought is we get something together that seems at least vaguely appetizing. Maybe do something to make it a little bit warm on arrival. Seeing if they're cold, they're probably going to sense something warm pretty easy, right? And then let's take what you would normally expect to dose a dog that size, and you just freaking quadruple it. Because what would be great is if we could bring one in alive.
I guess we got another
so wait a
problem there
minute.
too.
Wait a minute. What happens if you have too much tranquilizer?
Gate hole.
Hmm?
They go into a coma
Mm-hmm.
or die. It slows their heart down and they stop
So-
breathing.
It can be fatal.
Yeah, that's the short of it.
And dear friends in the back are demanding that we bring one back alive.
Of course, they want one alive.
Well,
But we're not going to be able to go grab one now, bring it
Oh.
back alive, and then have it with us all the way going out to do the rest of the mission
That's true.
while
Also, I
it's
think
alive and waking up.
it didn't really go for the two of you going up towards the thing because
Mm-hmm.
it went for the corpse, which was cold. So, like, if we want bait, we're going to have to, like, get something out of the freezer.
Okay.
Well, aren't
All right.
the creatures we captured cold as well?
Well, they're still alive.
I don't know.
That's a good question, though.
You guys did capture them alive, yeah.
We did. I just don't
Yeah,
remember.
they're like tiny little mole rodent types. That's what they
Are
were.
they
I'm
cold? to the
guessing
I think
they're
you
touch?
have, like, 3 or
furry,
4.
so no.
Michelle
Yeah, they're
goes
kind of
and
furry.
grabs one of them.
So when you touch them, like, yeah, there's like everything's cold to a degree, but like they don't have the kind of like this thing feels like when you touch it, like you're touching like a a cold countertop. You're touching like the cold side of like a beer that's been sitting, a beer bottle's been sitting in the refrigerator for hours and hours. So it has that kind of immediate feel to it. You touch this, like, yeah, everything's a little bit colder, but no, it's a little different.
Actually, I will take to mind a good point made. We want to try and capture it, but we probably sure as hell don't want to keep one of those here whilst we're prospecting. I've got the place mapped out. We know where they're staying. It's not a bad point to go do the prospecting, and maybe this could be something we hit on the way back.
Give us more time to think about it too.
Yeah.
And we might even find more
Bait,
appetizers. Exactly. Exactly.
corpses.
Yes.
Well,
more of
you
those
two
along the
were
way.
up there cutting the person down. You didn't bother to like grab their ID card or wallet. I mean,
And
I think that would have
Michelle
been a
will
little more
look-
useful than their entire body at this point.
It,
Not
there
everybody
wasn't
is,
exactly
like,
a way to grab the
proclivitous.
pockets without cutting it down. Step
Well,
one.
so why didn't you just
cutting
call
it
us? We had
down.
a winch. We could have just lowered it down nice and easy. We wouldn't have been in this mess. We could have backed the truck up right underneath of it and just lowered it into the bed.
So there is a
Hmm.
proper time for analysis and a retrospective.
Oh,
But
okay. Next
think-
time you find a corpse, keep us in mind. We'll help you out.
I think now is probably a better time to focus on getting back on track.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
I mean, hell, you
Yes.
got in there. You did stuff. And that's
did
better
stuff.
than not doing stuff.
That's true.
But Scooter, I do suppose you are correct. Perhaps Krisha would not have a bitten ankle at the moment had we just used the truck. So point taken. And so she's gonna sort of pout a little bit, and she's gonna just go sit kind of in the
But
back and just,
if we wanna know-
just sit down.
Like gingerly walking on a rooftop, we follow your lead, right? You don't send this big heavy sumbitch to go do that kind of thing.
Listen, that was
Mhm.
extenuating circumstances. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going, right? We're gonna
going.
go do the thing.
Yeah.
Making like a tree.
All right. So you turn the vehicle around, no issues. You try to get back down to that flattened area. You start driving away, call the pup back eventually, and it'll catch up, come in through one of the windows. And you begin your trek back westward a bit. The rest of the next few hours or so, like pretty much the day, is relatively uneventful. You pass by a series of like these kind of undulating streams that branch off in all this kind of nebulous way. So a few times you find yourself, Skeeter, having to like take the vehicle down into a swale. You go over some water and you pop back up the other side, but nothing that is particularly difficult. At a certain point, though, you all get tired. You have to do your normal kind of day's rest. So you can start counting down some stress. You can start counting down some health. So anybody who lost health, you can kind of start regaining that. But what I do need to do as like the next day begins, is I need everyone to actually make a roll. They need to make a stamina roll. And you can do this after you've healed. You can do this after, like, if you had any stress, any health that you need to heal, you can go ahead and do that.
Does all
Go
the
ahead, Drew.
stress come out or just a portion since we're not in a safe space?
Yeah, it's just going to be a portion since you guys are not technically back in colony. You're still kind of out in the, but you can use like if you have like an individual item or something like that you wanted to do that. That's fine.
And
How
so
much goes
once-
away on its own?
And I would say
s-
once we're like off a little bit, Michelle will kind of like rally everybody. I did just pick up a counselor trait.
Okay.
So she can use a command skill to try to reduce the stress level of another character within short range. So she'll try to kind of go around to everybody. And once she kind of gets out of her kind of funk, she'll kind of go around and kind of tell everybody what they did well today and try to help people that are kind of high on stress.
Nice.
So I do need to
Stamina, you say.
roll.
Yeah.
So
you
whoever
gotta roll
needs
command.
So I need to roll command. So who's got the highest stress? And we'll go around.
Got 3.
4.
All right. Adam, you can get rid of 1. Chuck next. Get rid of 1.
All right.
Skeeter next.
gonna
Nothing.
push?
Sorry.
Or push, yell at him again. Second time.
That's all right.
Um,
Don't worry.
Yeah. And then Krish, how are you with stress?
3.
All right. I will.
You want to push that one?
Yes, because Scooter made
Wow.
Michelle believe that it was her fault that Krish is hurt and was stressed. So that deserves the extra effort.
But Skeeter didn't make you feel that way, and you wouldn't push for Skeeter, but you would push for Chris. Just remember this when we get the banishment phase.
Is it a public vote or a private vote?
The banishment? Public.
Public?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Okay.
Let me actually read real quick. For each success you roll, their stress level is reduced by 1 extra step in addition to the default 1 step.
Okay.
So Krisha can heal
Skeeter-
2, and so everybody that was successful can heal 2 stress.
Skeeter gets 1, the other 3 get 2.
All right.
That's
Okay.
great.
Man.
Thank you.
And if you wanted to do anything else, you can also do, if you wanted to, you can use if you have an item, like you can always do that kind of once per, we'll call it like once per arc. So you guys are out on a mission, and then by the time you get to the colony, we'll reset it. So you basically get it once for this trip. So if you want to use it now, you can go ahead and use it now. Otherwise, your stress is where it's at.
Yeah, I want to use mine. It's my tool belt. Just take a little bit of time to make sure it's in good order,
Okay.
clean,
All right.
doesn't
Alright.
have any crazy wolf blood in it.
I think
All
I've
right.
got the equivalent, like you know how like the BMWs get that fancy little hood ornament thing. I like to think at some point the vehicle that got me put in prison is I stole one of those corporate little transport vehicles, and even though I didn't get too far, I did nick the corporate little symbol on it.
Love
You
it.
got
I
to.
think it's
That's
Wayland
step
Utani.
one.
It's
Yeah,
got to be Wayland. Yeah.
yeah. It looks like a
Main rival.
batarang almost.
Okay. All right. Okay. So then we'll say you've gotten more travel done. You haven't quite reached the coast. You've gotten a night's rest. You can stay within the vehicle. I still need everyone to do that stamina test. This is essentially just for cold. Once per day, effectively, you have to do this. It's not so cold that you do it once per ship, but once per day. And I just need 1 success from everybody.
What if
so
you had an eco all-world survival suit?
That's very useful for you.
I have
So
a cold weather parka, which
I was
gives me a
gonna say I
plus
got
2.
that as
If-
well.
Awesome.
I would- yeah, anybody who has your bonus items or items that allow you to forego this type of roll, feel free to just use them. It's perfectly fine. And if anybody fails, again, all I need is just the 1 success. Let me know.
Ugh. I'm gonna fail it because I don't want more stress.
Okay. So if you fail, that means this is for cold and freezing. So this does mean you suffer 1 point of damage and stress level. So you might want to just push it.
It's 1 stress either way.
It's
then
1 point of damage, and your stress level increases by 1,
I'm
and
gonna
you
push
are
it then.
technically
Yeah.
freezing. So there's a whole like spiral.
All right, got 1 on the
Okay.
push. That
All right. So we'll say morning comes, and you guys, whatever it is that you would normally do for food, for getting your stuff ready, whatever it might be, you get that done. You start getting the vehicle packed up and ready for travel again. Maybe you did some sort of exterior part camp for like preparing meals, whatever it might be, and you're getting all that together. Who here has like the highest observation skill? Like who here has got like pretty high skill? I think Skeeter, you got 1.
God,
7, I think.
I have 3. I have 2.
I got 3.
I just need the
2.
skill. Okay.
7.
So
Oh, 1.
just the skill. You don't have 7.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We're
No, it's all
doing
good.
math, Jeff.
I was just
like,
looking at
holy
totals.
crap.
So I don't want to
My
like
bad.
force rolls that aren't necessary. This is more just like a passive thing.
Okay.
So 3 I think was the highest I heard. So 3, was that you, Scooter?
and me.
1.
Okay, Krish, I'm sorry. Krish, as you all are getting ready, you're packing up, you look up on a ridge across across this like stream. It's another one of these small streams. Skeeter's been having to kind of drive you guys down and through them, and you look up and you can see on the ridge, it's not that far away, it's maybe about 30 feet up a ridge on the other side. You can see that there is a tree. It is not like the ones you've seen before. It's not like those little thin ones that sort of bend around. This one, you notice, is quite thick. And when you look at it from where you're at, you have a great view of it. Like it's a kind of a clear day. It's like sitting right up there. And you can see it's almost got this kind of spiral, almost like frozen yogurt in a way, like how it just sort of like when you put it in like a cone or something like that. And it's just like round and round and round. And you see that there's something standing right in front of it, or sitting right in front of it, staring down at you and the rest of you. And it is one of the same creatures that attacked you. And it's just sitting, and it's very big. It's like the size of a Great Dane. And you just see it's kind of just sitting there like a goofy dog, like a dog that can't quite sit properly. It's one of its legs is a little bit off kilter, and it's just kind of staring down at you. It's not howling, it's not growling, it's just the one. But you can see its head is just sort of looking down in your direction. And again, you're across the stream, maybe 30 feet away, 30 feet across, and then 30 feet up or so. But it's a clear day. What do you want to do with that knowledge, Krish?
I'm gonna try to keep my voice low and sort of gesture quickly behind me, like there's one over there, there's one over there. And she starts to pull out the trank gun. Does anybody else react or do anything?
I
If
would
not,
have,
he's
if you
gonna
wouldn't have
take a
been
shot.
reaching for that trank gun, I would have taken your hand and started reaching it for that trank gun. So I'm on board.
Jack just says, "You've got this, Krishna."
We'll take a shot.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll your attack. Range com. Yeah, you just roll. Did I put it on your sheet? Did you drag it onto your sheet?
I dragged down my sheet, but I think I need to put it in my locker.
Yeah, you just need to.
Yeah.
Oh no, you got to put in your
Oh.
active.
I think I fucked something up. Sorry,
That's all good.
I'm not super good with this UI.
So I'll take care. I got you.
Thanks. man.
While y'all are doing
Okay.
that, welcome Raiders from Laugh Love Lindy. Welcome
Hey.
in.
Right on.
I know Lindy. We played a
Okay.
Zorander game together.
Thank you for that raid. Awesome. Very nice. Okay. So, Chris, you hunker down. You load up on these trank darts. It's not the easiest shot in the world, but it's sitting still, and it's big, and it's right at the edge, and there's a tree right behind it. Like, you can see the contrast. It's this pale kind of earthy color, but in front of it, it's got that kind of whitish, bluish fur and scales kind of staring down at you. And you point up at it, and you can see it never moves, and you fire, and it hits it square in the chest. Like, just perfect, because it's doing that. It's sitting like a dog would. One of its legs is kind of off kilter, and you can see the chest is out, and you just get it right there, and you just get shot. Doesn't react. It doesn't like yelp in pain. Does nothing of any kind. And it's a perfect shot. What do you want to do?
She kind of straightens up, and I think there's something wrong with this one.
Now, I done figured out this puzzle. Not only can they turn invisible, they can make other things look like them. I think we just shot a person.
You what? What do you think
And
we did?
I'm
Skeeter's
bend down,
muted.
pick up a pebble, and throw it at
just- I don't want to argue against your logic because it was beautiful.
it.
Or maybe it's just got some thick skin.
She's throwing a pebble at it. It does anything
was-
happen?
That was a person that was all sitting there like, I'm cold, I've been
Hey.
trapped, and now I'm glad I gave you that gun.
So
Oh, God.
these dogs are a higher life form. They can make themselves present as what are to them the alien species.
It's like one of them fish that, or no, cuttlefish, now squid, octopuses that can like make themselves look like other creatures. Like,
So Michelle
hold
has
its
grabbed her
tentacles and, like,
revolver, and she's like, "So should I shoot it?"
no.
Anything happen with the pebble, Jeff?
So yeah, you get a little rock off the ground, you throw it across and up. It lands. It bounces off of it. It again doesn't seem to react. But I'll say this: while you're doing that, Michelle, you got your gun pointed, etc. Jack, you have 2 in observation, I think, so you're pretty good at observation. Maybe Scooter too. Actually, no, Scooter and Skeeter are arguing. So we'll say Jack. You've been quiet. You're watching.
Mm-hmm.
You notice something move, but it's not this creature. It's not this wolf-like creature. You watch as the tree behind it begins to kind of unravel and kind of like peel, as if it's just kind of straightening out a bit, and you just watch as it does so. And that's when everyone else now can notice it too. Like initially, Jack, you're the only one who can see it. It kind of just begins to slowly unravel, and then the rest of you start noticing it too, because it becomes extraordinarily noticeable. As you can see light now between these different wraps, these different rings and wraps.
That's something new.
Doc? And she's calling over the... She's just saying Doc, but she's specifically calling the floral lady.
Oh yeah, they're already here, and they're just filming it. They're just watching it right here. They got like this little video recorder, and like you can see they're doing their best David Attenborough impression, and they're just like talking to each other as they're filming it in its beauty and its wonder.
We're not crossing the river. That's not happening.
Just observe from a distance, maybe,
Yes,
respect,
yes.
and be in amazement of the nature of this place, and courageously allow things to live and let live, whatnot. I don't feel like we need to go over that way.
And as he's saying the beauty of nature, live and let live, you watch coming up from like the center of the swirling spiral of the body, you see something almost like a fist just begin to grow, and it's like connected. It's almost like a head, and you watch as it opens up a little bit, and it's, I would say, somewhere like in size, it's probably about 6-7 feet across. And as it kind of unfurls a bit, it just kind of floats around and moves, and you watch this slit open up, this vertical slit in the middle of like the palm. And it just slowly lowers down, and as the slit opens up, it just right onto the sides of this creature that Chris shot with the with that tranquilizer, and just begins to lift it off the ground. And at no point do you ever see the creature like struggle or flail or even react in the pain of the bite, as you see this massive snake-like creature has just like crunched down onto this this thing, and is now in the process of trying to bring it down its gullet.
Oh shit!
All of you take a stress, by the way, for that, and then tell me what you do. So,
okay, no, that thing was paralyzed. That thing gave it a paralyzer, y'all.
Do you think it already was paralyzed before we shot it with more?
I think it probably stepped on something or whatnot, and it was good and frozen still before the thing ate it, right?
So we just wasted what we had on a thing that was already.
It was a learning opportunity.
We made the best decisions with the information we had. Like, don't feel bad about that.
Perhaps it will ingest some of the tranquilizer with it.
Can you really tranquilize a tree?
Maybe an alien tree. I don't know.
I can shoot it.
I think
Michelle still has her like revolver out.
I
think
we
as
need to shoot it.
Yeah, Mr. Girl like kind of tries to gently point your gun towards the ground. I don't think we need to take any particular action against this. And he'll turn to the experts and he'll be like, do you think you've gotten enough footage yet? I think we should vacate as soon as possible in case
they've moved away, and they're like, shh, quiet, please, thank you. And they're just watching and filming and filming.
So Michelle's
Peter.
trying to look at it now that her gun was sort of put away, and try to see if this looks to be the same, if it looks similar to the vine from the first body that we saw.
Different color.
earlier.
It's definitely a different color. Yeah. As you're watching though, as the body begins to, the body of the like that wolf-like creature is slowly dragged down a gullet, you see this thing extend and begin to unravel some more and start slithering down the ridge, not towards you, but more like parallel to you all. And you see it kind of slither to the end. It's still keeping its head up a bit. And right as it looks like it's about to go over the edge and begin, going downwards, you see it just kind of continues to go in this horizontal movement as if it's like floating and hovering above the ground. And you see it just kind of flies almost right off the ridge, the little 30-foot cliff across like the river that you've been following. And there's now, and that thing's got to be 60, 70 feet long as you see it in its full totality. And you see the light of the binary star like above, kind of cascading down. It's just really bright light, and you just see this thing move past you. There's this huge shadow on the ground as this slithering kind of flying tree moves past you all.
I was
Man,
hoping
don't
it
shoot
wasn't
that thing.
terrestrial. That makes it so much better.
Oh, hell no. I'm officially
Scary.
declaring myself the Pope, and nope, we ain't shooting that thing. We're staying the fuck away.
Yeah, we are.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
flying
like twice the
paralysis
size.
tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go away.
It's like twice the size of your rover in terms of its length. Not quite that thick, but it's pretty light.
I mean, I've taken a lot of Benadryl in
Meat
my life,
eating
and I've
tree.
never seen
Flying
shit like that.
paralysis meat eating tree. Like that is a key adjective,
Man.
I feel like.
So you guys watch
like-
as your scientist friends are like following it, and they're going with it, and they're moving down into the stream
Chris
of it, and still following
goes
it.
right behind them and like grabs and like no, you're
dare-
not.
What?
No,
But
There's more than their invisible space wolves around, which we know because we just watched E1, and plus, you are two wonderful professionals that our site could not lose.
I
You're
mean,
too
you're
important,
okay,
so we
but,
can't
like-
risk going out there.
Okay. So they look at you, Krish. One of them looks towards Skeeter and says, "Why do you keep saying space wolves? We're not in space. We're on a moon."
You're right. I'm just nervous,
We should
and it
update.
sounds cool.
We should update our lexicon to moonwolves.
Nah, it's the
That would
right
be more
term.
accurate, at least.
Okay.
Listen, when in Rome, you call shit space wolves. Let's go.
Both look at you like,
But we aren't in Rome.
that sentence made sense.
I
Give
mean,
me
if-
my tranquilizers back. Too much ketamine for Scooter. Okay, what do you guys want to do at this point? It is like, it's not flying directly away from you, but it is flying away from you. Like, you're not seeing it anymore. It's like it's venturing across. You could follow it if you wanted. You certainly could, but it's currently at this point, it's reaching the extent of your vision.
I personally have enjoyed our nature walk so much, but
Mhm.
I will admit I've reached a threshold of my knowledge intake, and I think I just want to get the prospecting done and
Mhm.
get the hell back.
Mhm.
Well, and I believe hopefully that from a scientific perspective, they were able to get, a good 2 to 5 minutes of video, I believe, which is definitely better than we did at retrieving scientific data from our first encounter with the vines. So this is actually, we are all alive. We don't have any additional wounds. So far, this is a great start to the morning, in fact.
You are correct.
You guys have done halfway decent, because don't forget, like, part of your job is documenting flora and fauna, and so you've got a couple live samples of the little rodent. You have a dead sample of this weird, strange, like invisible,
Thing.
shifting, stealthy
Space wolf.
thing. You have video of this other creature. So like, yeah, you've got some stuff. Like all of this will go towards your reward when you get back. So, you know, the more information you collect as you go and come back, the more it'll actually go on your tab. Okay. Do you hop in your truck and continue driving?
Yes.
I would like to go now.
Yes.
All right. So you hop in the truck. You continue driving westward. And this is probably your third day of travel. I would say this is third day. And there's one point where as you're driving, Skeeter, you notice that there is like it almost looks like a abandoned bridge site. Like you can tell that there's this huge gorge and what looks like some of those temporary bridges that you saw that was just north of the colony. And those were intact. Like here you can kind of see the same equipment, the same basic building blocks, the same construction, that generic Seegson building material that everyone has so many complaints about. You can see it, but it's not constructed. It's just like it's like partially unpackaged. And there's nothing that connects one side of the gorge to the other. So I would need you, if you could, I need someone you can give me like a piloting test if you want to try to like steer it around and try to find a way, like as you circumvent this thing. Is because the whole time you've been driving west, you've been going higher and higher. Like you're getting into the highlands is what they're sort of referred to as. And so you're just kind of looking for a way to trek around it. Okay. One's all you need.
Okay.
No, that's all you need. No problem. Okay. Eventually you do find yourself like an alternate route. It adds some time to your travel, but you're nonetheless able to circumvent some of that problem. But eventually, we'll say about a shift later, so it's probably about a shift worth of driving around this thing, you do find yourself coming up at this point to this almost plateaued like ground. And so you've been rising and steadily. It's like slowing down the rover. And finally, you see it kind of level off for a ways. And as you do, you look around, and those of you who can see outside of a window, you can see that it's like a plateau, or it's just an extensive plain all the way to the north, all the way to the south. You can see that there's no trees, but there are these like craters, these little pockets where occasionally you can see like some vegetation and such, but otherwise it's very flat, rocky, like rock terrain. There's no growth on it. And anybody who pops out for a bit or who listens, you can kind of hear the sounds of like the ocean. And eventually your rover comes up to the edge of this plateau area, and you realize it's a cliff. And when you stand, you can look out. Anybody who's looking out a window or gets out of the vehicle and looks around, you can see that you are at the top of an immense cliff, and the world just kind of seems to fall away when you look down. And it's into this like massive, endless maw of this churning ice and black waters. You can see the ocean. This must be the ocean. You can see it's just extending for miles and miles and miles, the horizon in front of you. You can see that there's like this thin mist well below. It's a couple hundred feet down from this cliff, you think, to the shore, but you can see there's this thin mist that's rolling over the water. You can see there's some scattered islets here and there that pop up beneath that film of mist. The air is incredibly salty and cold, very, very cold. You're getting whipped in the face. It's very biting. And you can even see, for those of you looking down the cliff, these explosions of like water and foam as it's smashing against some of these islets in the shore itself. And again, to the north, to the south, this very sparse like craterous terrain, and these little dots of like almost like stuff growing within each crater. But then the space in between each crater is just dead. It's just dead rock, flat land. What would you guys like to do as you have reached the ocean, or at least the western coast?
My preliminary reports say that this is on the cliff face, and what we are looking for will be very clear to see. The opening will look like a mouth itself attached to a rudimentary face.
All right.
Send your pup out and go see if you can.
Yep. That's exactly what I was thinking. Before we go doing any awkward climbing about, we let the pup do the leg work.
Okay. So yeah, so the pup's going out. You can do your comm tech. Is there anything else anyone's doing? As this is going to take some time, the pup sending it up and down and around, all that kind of stuff. So as far as you know, the coast extends for miles to the north and to the south. So this isn't like we just happened to hit the one dot on the coast. So it's a question of like, what is everybody doing as you're out and about?
I'd say Michelle is wandering around looking for footprints or tracks or
Okay.
kind of anything like that in this area.
Okay. Visibility is fairly decent from the cliff. You can definitely tell like down on the shore, it's a little dicier. There's definitely like dark sand and rock and like that thin film of mist that's a couple 100 feet down. But up here on the cliff, it's actually not too bad. And since there's nothing, it's all very flat. It's not the hardest thing to see. So far we're just gonna do a round. I just want to know what everyone's basically doing for the next like turn or so. So that's Skeeter is going to be doing Comtech. Michelle, you can do either survival or observation. What about you, Scooter? What would you be up to?
Thinking about fishing.
Okay.
So we got a winch with a big hook and a dead creature. Not going to, but playing it.
Okay. All right. So you're thinking about lowering. So I would say there is like beach. So it's not like it doesn't, the cliff doesn't just plunge right into the water. Maybe there's a tide. You're not sure. But you're on the moon as opposed to being the moon. So you're not sure exactly what the tide situation is just yet. But there is definitely some distance between the base of the cliff and the water itself. So it wouldn't plunge directly into the water.
No, that's fine. Like I said, just thinking, and maybe while I'm thinking, I might be doing routine maintenance and stuff on our equipment that we're going to need just to make sure everything's shipshape for work time.
Okay, so Scooter will do a heavy machinery. What about Krish?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Krish spent pretty much her entire life on colonies and ships and has seen this expansiveness either never or like once or twice in her life, maybe. And so she's kind of just getting as close to the water as she can, either on the cliff or on the beach. Jeff, you let me know. And just kind of looking out and probably
you
a
can
little
get down.
starstruck.
If you want to get down, you're more than welcome to climb down. It's just a mobility roll to basically, because there's like little switchbacks and things like that. So it's not like you're just wholesale scaling down the mountain. But if you wanted to roll a mobility to climb down, you certainly could. All right, so mobility for Krish. And then Jack, what are you up to?
Jack is going to keep an eye out. And did Krish like leave immediately, or did she take a little bit of time before she went towards the shore?
And it probably took some time, just like looking out.
Jack would walk over to her and say, "So you can see them now too?"
I think so. Is that how it works? You see it once and then you can always see it.
I wouldn't know. I've just always seen them. Ever since we rode out here. So, but you were able to see one, and
after it bit me.
After
it bit me. I didn't see the one dragging the body away. I assume one was dragging the body away. I didn't see that one.
No, the others seemed to. I also couldn't help but notice that Michelle mispronounced your name. Why do you not correct her? I never let anyone mispronounce my last name.
She kind of looks down and looks up, and it's very clear that what's happening now is taking a whole lot more strength than going after the fucking space wolves. Like, you didn't have to do what you did. Not that I needed your help, but I thank you for your help.
Oh, well, hopefully next time I'll be better at it.
Okay.
I suppose it is something you could practice, but I don't see why you would.
About it now, Jaggy boy. Then
I suppose the proper thing to have
Also,
said would have been
it's
"You're welcome."
Krisha. You sound really stupid every time you call me Krishna, and that's why I haven't corrected you because you
Oh,
sound really dumb when you
that's
call me Krishna.
that's embarrassing. That also, when I told the joke of you and my everything, just doesn't make sense if it's Krisha.
That was a joke.
Yes, a
That's
play
a
on words.
really bad joke.
Well, they usually are when you tell them like that.
Okay. And she now it's when she goes down to the water.
Okay. All right. So, Adam, is Jack doing anything for this?
He is actively looking out for wolves. That is what he's doing.
Observation then for you.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start with. I'm just going to go by the overlay. Scooter, how'd you do on your heavy machinery?
Amazing.
Okay.
Nice.
5 successes.
5 successes. Okay.
Holy shit.
2 things you notice. First of all, that all in the engine block, basically, as you start digging into this thing, you can find that something has mucked everything up. Like there's debris, there's line, there's like little bits of things kind of growing here and there. With 5 successes, you're able to clean it out, and it doesn't take that long.
Nice.
But you can definitely tell that if you hadn't checked it now, it was growing pretty quickly. But it was definitely beginning to cause some trouble here and there. Maybe even that was contributing to Skeeter having such difficulty, like at times, like going up and around some of these like undulations and such, and even trying to increase, just slowing everything down. But you're able to give it a nice, good clean. Where it came from is kind of unclear, but there's definitely something growing within here.
Okay.
The other thing, because you had 5 successes, is because it's you.
That's me.
It looks a lot like some of the stuff that you saw when you were climbing down in the cave and such underneath the botany area and stuff.
All right. Well, I'm going to scrape some off and definitely give some to the scientists. But I mean, that's just brownie points. Main thing I'm going to do is make sure to keep some notes and shit. That way I can pass it around at the shop for
Okay.
the other mechanics.
All right. Michelle, how did you do did you do survival or did you do observation?
Michelle did observation, ended up with 2 successes and is panicking. So she is successful and then she's trembling uncontrollably.
Okay. Perhaps the reason why you're panicking is that as you start traveling around, and then obviously you're all probably staying within eyesight of each other in earshot, etc. You do, in fact, find footprints on the ground. You find very large, these like 4-toed claws on the ground. Tons of them, actually, in fact. You can see they go up, it looks like, to some of these craters where all this vegetation is, and then disappear. The other thing you notice is that maybe where it starts to make you panic is that as you're walking around up here, you notice boot prints. Old, but they're boot prints. They're not yours. And you're pretty sure you're the only person who traveled off in this direction from the rover. And you can see they just are kind of skirting along the edge a bit of the cliff for a little while. Skeeter, how did you do?
Got 2 successes.
Okay, so you send the pup out, and your pup can go in 50. So you're doing like, basically, this is like 15 minutes. We're doing a turn.
Mm-hmm.
And so it travels up a ways. Maybe we'll just do it travels up and it travels down. So it travels a little bit of the way north, goes down, scans, comes back up. So you get a little bit of the cliff and you get a little bit of the shore. You do notice, first of all, that there are ample cliffside caves. Like they're all over the place.
Mm.
And maybe you don't send your pup in just yet. You're just doing kind of a first cursory glance, but you can tell that there are multiple entrances and exits. And from what you can tell, it looks fairly circuitous. So that's the first thing you would notice. The second thing you would notice is that there seems to be a weird patch of interference that kind of glitches in every now and then out here. It's just like it's intermittent, so it's not like it's not interrupting your ability to map the area, but you get these little glitches. And then one other thing is that there are living creatures in the water. You can tell, thousands of them. Okay. Krish, you went down. So you are. We'll do you last. Actually, we'll go to Jack. Jack, you were looking for.
Just think of that.
Yeah. You look at the time, and then you're going last. You know what's about to happen. Jack, you were specifically looking for those those creatures that you've encountered a few times now, right?
Yes, because I think only I can see them, and possibly Krisha.
Okay, roll an observation test, if you haven't already.
I did. I got 2 successes.
2.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, they're here. Not only are they here, but you can tell that there are at least maybe 2 packs or so of them, and they seem to be very aware of you. They haven't come up to the rover, but you can see that in certain places, in some of these little craters, they're hiding in the vegetation and kind of staring off at you all. They're actively watching you. One point, Michelle comes up to the crater and is looking around, and she sees these tracks, and they look up at her. They easily could pounce on her, but they don't. And they just continue to sort of track and watch and track and watch and track and watch. They never get close to the rover. They're all within a good 50 yards, each one. But they're all watching. And there's got to be at least, like I said, 2 packs. We're talking somewhere between 8 and a dozen of these things all around. And they are dead set on watching you. And they are very good at watching, it appears. Then,
I'll
go ahead.
Spread the.
No, you can follow it up. That's fine.
Yeah. Michelle, I would appreciate it if you would stay closer to the vehicle. You were about to walk on some of those wolves. I was about to warn you, but then you were walking the other way.
Oh, well, okay. Just so you know, someone else with our boots, our kinds of boots, has been walking this way. Not necessarily today, but some other time. So there's lots of prints and boot prints too. But thank you, because I still can't see them. So thank you for telling me where they are. I will turn back now. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
And
for your
she's
observations.
panicked a bit still as she's kind of walking back, and so you see her not wanting to look like she's running in fear, but she's definitely 80s style power walking back in the other direction.
Okay.
Her focus for fitness is admirable. And I'll start to share the word with everyone else that's about, and I'll point in the directions where they are, but
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you're on comms to each other. That's fine. Krish, how is your mobility test going down the cliffside?
I got 1/6 on my yellow dice.
Okay, that's good. That's all you need. Just need the 1 success to make it down safely. No extra information, which is a shame, but you make it down. And as you do, you can see that this rocky shore, it extends for miles to the north and to the south. You put your feet down, you can hear the crunch. There's a little bit of sand, very, very dark sand. And then you can also see shells and various other things. And as you're crunching along on the beach, you can see there is a tide coming in. Now it's splashing against some of the rock, these islets, kind of breaking it here or there. Then it dribbles up the shore a ways. Every time it dribbles up, you can see something's moving in the water. Right? You can see, and as the tide retreats, you can see that there are thousands of these small, tiny crabs or something similar, kind of scurrying about here and there. Some of them getting caught in these little tide pools, others climbing on top of some of the rocks and such here and there on an eddy that's sticking out into the water. You notice that at the base of this little walkway that you came down, as you're just looking around. You can see water is coursing from the river, or excuse me, from the ocean. There's little streams here and there. It's there's sometimes it comes a little bit deeper under the shore than others, but there are these big caves, and you hear from behind you at the base of the cliff, you just hear and when you turn around and look, you can see like right inside one of the caves, there is this like massive, almost like blubbery looking nodule. For a second, it just looks like the cave is just plugged with just like jelly like fish of some kind. But then you watch like as an eye just rotates around and like opens up, and the second one does as well. And you see this mouth begin to open up, and you realize that wasn't it eating anything, but it's dragging itself out of the cave onto the beach. You see its mouth open up, and this big lolling tongue just kind of flops out dead onto the sand. And that's what we'll go ahead and end for tonight. Thank you for participating, and we'll meet my Trey's new backup character. That's the end of that.
Ooh. Cliffy at the Cliffy.
Just wants it to. Oh, geez, get out of here! Get out of here!
Jeff, if you don't want me to play on Mondays, just say you don't want me to play on Mondays. Like,
What are you talking about? This is what brings you back. You know it. Anyhow, there's a giant jellyfish with eyes or something. I don't know.
I know
darts at
Wheela's
the
about
wall.
to kill me in Frag Empire. Like, that's what's happening next Monday.
You didn't try to talk to them. You could just try to talk. Hey, what's up? Hello. You never know. You never know. Roll diplomacy check. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyhow, you guys made it to the beach. You got some caves to look into for Skeeter. Jack, you've got an objective out here as well. And now there's a big old thing coming out of the cave. Very slowly, I might add. It's not like it's moving quickly. So you can get away. Just saying.
Maybe.
Be fine. You're
Right.
the first. It's great. Anyhow. All right, that's it for Alien tonight. Let's go ahead and do some close and plugs, and then we'll get on out of here. We'll start with Chuck. Chuck, tell us about what's going on with DOK.
Yeah, so Wednesdays I'm running a Dungeon Crawl Classics Night Below campaign. And Fridays over on Defenders of Cobalt, we're doing a Pathfinder 2nd edition. It's my own home setting. We don't have a name for the campaign, but it's great. Check it out. And then also on Tuesdays and Thursdays on our YouTube, we have our Pathfinder 2nd edition YouTube exclusive. So check that out as well.
Awesome. Is it the same Pathfinder setting that we played in way back in the day?
No, this is older than that. This is DOK before DOK streamed anything. So
like home, like in-person stuff.
Yeah, in-person
Very
stuff.
cool.
Like
Very cool, man.
super old DOK setting.
Nice.
Like when 5th edition first came out.
Wow, that's like 10 something years. Is that right?
I don't know. Who's counting?
I don't know.
Old as shit.
Okay. Awesome. Jeremy, you got a Patreon you want to tell us about?
Sure, Aaron Reese on Patreon. You got comics, maps, tokens, fun stuff. Check it out.
Excellent. My Trey, where can we find you on the internet?
I am my two plays games on YouTube, where I make system agnostic multi-system content that centers BGM and player experience.
Awesome. Fantastic. And everyone's links and stuff are in the description if you're watching this later on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on the podcast, you can find all links to everyone's stuff. And speaking of stuff, Adam, what stuff would you like to plug?
I'd like to talk about Cannon Otter Studio, where we are working on a Kickstarter that just funded. That is Teenage Odyssey. Jack has done writing the game. I don't know about the adventure, but the game at least. And I'm going through and editing it. And we've got art being created. So if you join our Discord, then you can talk to us about that or just about anything else, and then find ways to get to our YouTube channel and all that great stuff. So
Awesome. As for us, tomorrow night we're starting up a new game. Steven's going to start running us through some Frontier Scum. It is acid Western cowboy stuff. So we're going to be doing that, making characters and getting started. Then Thursday, you can see some of us here, Melissa, Jeremy, myself, as we're doing Simba Room. Speaking of caves, they just went down into one. So everything will be fine. Friday, Warhammer 40k, Wrath and Glory. Aaron was showing us pictures this weekend of him relaxing so that he could figure out a way to kill us. Because he was talking so much shit about killing us the previous session. We lived.
We did.
I'm hoping he skips the plugs when he watches the stream so he doesn't hear me talking so much shit right now. But anyhow, that's fine. And then Saturday, we should be back for Call of Cthulhu, I think. I think we're back to Eternal Lies. I think we're possibly starting up our new location as we finished up Los Angeles, and we're going to be moving on to somewhere else. Where that is, we'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you. Let's see. Plu Cottage, D&D, Folk and Myth, and Laugh Love Lindy. Thank you so much for the rates tonight. We really do appreciate it. If you haven't followed them, please go do. If you haven't followed us or DOK or Canonotter or Maitre, please follow everybody. And we're gonna raid Pay It Forward. We're gonna raid, speaking of D&D, let's go Blackwater D&D. So follow the raid. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.